Tenant late fees. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about tenant late fees and how important it is to enforce your late fee clause in your lease. When we first started out, I was not a stickler on late fees. My prevailing thought was that we're lucky to just even get the rent and not have to deal with an eviction, and a lot of times I let it slide. Those days are no more. I enforce late fees. As a matter of fact, I just got through collecting a $100 late fee from a tenant that was 15 days late on his rent for the second time. And it states clearly in his lease that there is a late fee imposed. As of late, I've just started adding to the leases basically that the late fees and any expenses that I have to go through to collect the rent, such as attorney's fees or any lease violation penalty fees or anything, are classified as added rent. So I add it to the rent. So if they have $50 worth of late fees or $100 worth of late fees or lease violation penalties or whatever the case may be, I add it to the rent. So if the rent's $600 a month, and the next month they incur $100 worth of fees, then that's added to their rent. So they owe me $700, and they can be evicted for that rent. It's a lot harder, a lot more difficult to evict a person with a evict them based on not paying their late fees. But you add it to their rent, then it's a lot easier. So that's my approach from now on. Or not from now on. We've been doing that in our leases for about a year now. We add it to the rent. It's called any late charges, attorney's fees, expenses related to the enforcement of the lease is classified as additional rent. You can't let people walk all over you. You let people get by with something, they're going to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and pretty soon they're walking all over you. I have a couple of tenants now that I'm wanting to weed out. They're late on their rent. They don't get the concepts of added rent. They kind of slip through the system. I wish I'd never rented to them, and I'm in the process of getting ready to evict them now. But I'm more of a stickler on late fees and who's living in our properties. If they have bad credit, if they have evictions, if they have no job, if they go from job to job, if they appear to be unstable in any way, I'm not going to rent to them. They're a lot more work. It's a lot more work to deal with them. To me, the less rent they pay, and the less rent they pay, and the more trouble they make, the more trouble they cause me. If they're late on their rent 2 or 3 months, they're causing me more trouble. It's just one excuse after another, whereas someone who pays their rent monthly and routinely and doesn't give me as many problems. It just seems to me to be that way. I don't know what the statistics are. But anyway, collect those late fees and be a stickler on it. Be a stickler on the late fees and don't let people push you around, because they inevitably will.